Hey friends, so I definitely didn't plan on going 3 months without making a new video, but here we are. So if you are new here, thank you for being here. And if you are already subscribed to me, you've already been watching my videos and you're like, where did you go for the last 3 months? Thank you for sticking around and still being here. So I'm gonna just kind of dive into where we've been in the last 3 months and what has been going on, how everything is going. So a general life / homeschool update for you guys today. So we are expecting number 4. We are really excited. I'm 21 weeks along, and that is why I just kind of dropped off the face of the YouTube planet and social media planet for 3 months, because I just was feeling awful all the time. And that is life. Life happens, even in homeschooling and even in whenever you have a YouTube channel, life happens. And yeah, I just kind of was I don't have the capacity to make a YouTube video right now. I'm so exhausted. Same thing with Instagram and just all of that. It's just too much. It's I just felt it was just, I didn't have the capacity to keep up with it and do it and make it happen. And so I just stopped. I just stopped. And there is some freedom in that, but there is also some oh my gosh, why did I stop? There's some guilt that comes with that too. But for me, it's what had to be done. I was super nauseous and super exhausted from the middle of November to the end of January. I am about a month now out of feeling nauseous every single day, all day, almost all day. Some days better than others, and just being so exhausted. I don't want to do anything other than what has to be done. While me feeling this way, nauseous and exhausted in the first few months of pregnancy is not uncommon for me, it was definitely harder this time. And I think it's just because I have these super active boys. We're always out doing stuff. We're always doing something, and all of a sudden I have no energy. I am so sick, feeling I just had to give myself some grace and be all right, you need to rest. You need to lay on the couch in the middle of the day. It's okay. And so I just kind of took this time to feel better, be better, take care of myself, just take care of my family. We did do some schoolwork throughout this time, and I'm gonna go into detail about that as you watch, so keep on watching. Anyway, yes, super excited about the baby. We are going to find out actually the gender next week. So I'm excited. I've never really talked about kind of a passion that I have and have had since I had my first son is birth. And just I actually have studied to become a birth doula. I've been a doula to a few mamas, and I love birth. I think it's amazing. So we are actually planning our second home birth here at home with my midwife who actually delivered Isaiah and Ezra. And so I am super excited. I know it's this foreign thing I haven't even talked about on this channel. So I'm hoping to be going into maybe some birth stories and maybe how to prep for a home birth, that type of thing. Yeah, because it's home birth is really cool. I think for some people it's kind of foreign, but it is a really, really awesome thing. And so anyway, I will probably be doing more videos on the birthy side of things as I lead up to having this baby. Anyway, so kind of heading on into our homeschool routines and how crazy they've been in the last few months. But this is what we're doing, and an update on all things homeschool here for you. All right, so in December, we actually did do a couple of things between the times that I was feeling good and so I actually went ahead and purchased the Gather Round Christmas Unit Study, and we only did about 2 weeks worth of it. So it covered Mary, Joseph, the shepherds, I believe, and it was a new person every day that you talked about. So I really enjoyed that. The boys liked it. And we also had a STEAM box for all of the month of December every day, well, up until Christmas. You opened an envelope to tell you what your project was that day. And so that was a lot of fun, and it came with all of the supplies. This particular box is from a small STEAM studio in North Texas, and so it's really cool. I'll drop the link below to their website. They have some really cool boxes. It's called Crashworks. Anyway, I'll drop the link to them below. So we did that in the month of December, and it was just like me like getting through being nauseous. Like that is what December was. I didn't really enjoy Christmas time. I was just like falling asleep at 8 o'clock right when we put the kids to bed, and that was the month of December for us. So I just wanted to pop in here halfway through this video and just hear how life is going for you guys. You guys are my subscribers, and like you have watched my videos, and I'm so thankful, but I also want to hear like how things are going for you. I hope that homeschooling is going really well. I would love to hear if you are pregnant and have been sick, you know, all of those things. And I would just love an update from you guys. So drop a comment below. So as for our new semester that we started in January, the beginning of January, and it always helps me when I like declutter and organize. So what I went ahead and did was I just cleaned out our whole like closet. I cleaned out our whole homeschooling closet because it's a mess by that point. I just kind of laid out like the simple things that we can do to finish the school year strong and to really feel like that it went well. And so I've probably mentioned this in previous videos, but we basically right now are only doing Bible and phonics from My Father's World for my first grader. So I've kind of ditched everything else in that curriculum. I think it's just a matter of preference for us and just how our school year has gone. So that's Bible and phonics kind of taken care of. One thing I do have to say about My Father's World in first grade is I do really like how Bible is so intertwined with the phonics program. It is really cool to see that, and it is good because I'm instilling these stories and these biblical values at the same time while I'm teaching phonics to my kids. So it's like it's interconnected, and I like that it's interconnected and not separate. But for a little bit more of history, because I really love history, I was like a history minor in college. I love history and I love like teaching my kids about history. We have gone back to Beautiful Feet books, and we are now doing the early American history part 1. So I bought the whole package with some Christmas money of just like, it was like $130 for like all these books, and it came with the guide. I'm really loving this early American history. So in all of January, we studied Vikings, and we made Viking cake, and we tried to make Viking ships with Legos, and we watched videos, and we talked about Leif the Lucky, and it was just a really, really cool. So right now we are in the middle of the Native Americans, the indigenous people to North America. And I have a special place because I'm actually an 8th Comanche Indian. So even though the Comanches didn't really show up until I believe it was the 16th or 17th century here in North America, it's really cool to be able to tie in their heritage and their history to show my kids like who they were and tell them about like this is part of your heritage too. But I really love the focus of Beautiful Feet books and the focus they put on how important the indigenous cultures are to North America. And I love that. So we've been like kind of digging into that a little bit more. I want to go on a field trip to a museum that has a lot of information on just the indigenous people of our area in Texas. And so that has been really cool to kind of add it in when we can. I would say we do about 1 or 2 lessons of Beautiful Feet books, early American history a week. Lately it's probably been closer to 1. Yeah, my kids are really loving it. I'm loving it. So those are 3 things that we're doing. So as for math, we're still trucking along in math lessons for a living education. My son actually just hit all the review parts in that book. So I'm gonna go ahead and order level 2 for him and see if it still fits good for us. And I think I'm also gonna snag a kindergarten copy for my pre-K kiddo, because I think from what I've watched on YouTube and what I've read, is the kindergarten math lessons for a living education is actually more of a pre-K level. So I think it might fit well and kind of add that into our Gather Round curriculum that we're using for pre-K right now. Anyway, I have a huge smorgasbord of curriculums, but what it really comes down to is, you know, us just plopping down on the floor and like being like, all right, boys, we're gonna read together. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna have an activity together, and just really getting them engaged. So right now, I still really love having an activity first thing in the morning for them. Now, I got out of the routine of this when I was so nauseous and exhausted, and we didn't do that every morning, but I feel like it helps them like get centered on, okay, this is learning time. So the other day I just set out a bunch of stamps and paper for them to do and draw and on the table. That was really fun. And then the day before that, we did like an animal rescue for kind of tying in our science that we're kind of lightly going through this year. Anyway, so just kind of setting them up and gearing them for the day, the school day, really helps by having activity in the beginning for my kids anyway. That's what I'm learning. Like I've said so many times before, like I am a work in progress. Like I'm learning so much as I go. And I think that is the beautiful thing about homeschooling, is you make it work for your family at that time in your homeschooling journey, and things can change. Thank you so much for watching. If you have stuck around through this whole video, I'm hoping to do a gender reveal video next week, so be on the lookout for that, because that will be fun and exciting, and we're really excited about number 4 baby coming along. And anyway, so drop a comment below. Like I said, I would love to hear how your school year is going, / how life is. And yes, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here.